Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, ANN's Jim Campbell leads off with a personal message. EAA supports FAA action on FAR Part 23. United Airlines brings people closer together. I'm Bree Cross. It's March 14th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. Before we start with our regular rundown of the Aero-News for today, ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell will share his thoughts about the loss of Colleen Hoover, the beloved wife of our friend Bob Hoover. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Bree, and hi, folks. Well, we have some bad news. The incredible team of Colleen and Bob Hoover, one of the most amazing marriages it's been my pleasure to witness over the course of a number of decades, has come to the fork in the road. Colleen Hoover passed away this weekend. She had been in ill health for quite some time. And there's no question that Colleen Hoover was one half of an amazing team that ultimately changed aviation history. And while we'll have a lot more to say about that in the future, and we'll no doubt touch upon that in some of the projects we're working with Bob in the future, I want to let you know just something about the personal side of the amazing, sweet, vivacious, absolutely warm Colleen Hoover. When I would stay over at the Hoover house while Bob and I were working on projects, she would make sure in the morning I'd have breakfast. I don't do breakfast, Colleen insisted. She would tell stories about what it took to keep a marriage fun while traveling military bases, which were not exactly the social centers of the universe, and the adventures that they would have. She talked to me every now and then, asked me how I was doing, and would give me a little bit of counsel on girl troubles. But overall, she was just this sweet, wonderful lady. And the last time I sat down with Bob, he would smile about this and that, but he would never smile broader than when he was talking about his sweetheart, Colleen. Many years ago, I came to a realization that we come into a big, wide, wonderful world, that when we're small and as children, the world is nothing but unlimited and huge and warm and welcoming. But the problem with adulthood, the problem with growing up, is that the things that we love and the things that we value slowly but surely disappear, and the world becomes a smaller place in varying degrees. Without Colleen Hoover, I know for a fact Bob's world is much smaller, and for the rest of us, quite a bit smaller as well. This was an extraordinary woman. We honor her. We send our prayers and our love to Bob and to all her friends and family, our very best. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero TV, I'm Jim Campbell.
The FAA's announcement of a formal Notice of Proposed Rulemaking for revising the outdated FAR Part 23 rules that govern small aircraft design and alterations has met with support from the Experimental Aircraft Association. The FAA's actions were mandated nearly 3 years ago by the Small Airplane Revitalization Act of 2013. The move has been long supported and encouraged by EAA, most recently during the EAA FAA Recreational Aviation Winter Summit at Oshkosh in February. EAA Sean Elliott said in part, quote, "We've been urging the FAA to get this mandated update to the certification rules and airworthiness standards because it is a major advancement for GA aircraft owners that include thousands of EAA members. Changes in Part 23 will maintain and enhance high levels of safety, but allow for more innovation and freedom in design and maintenance of aircraft." The rulemaking proposal will open for comments upon publication in the Federal Register today, March 14th. After the break, getting to know your neighbor.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG Series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. According to a report out of USA Today, airline travel may not be becoming friendlier, but is bringing people closer together. As United Airlines places Dreamliners into service on long-haul international routes, the airline plans to convert 19 of its Boeing 777 airliners to 10 abreast seating and coach. United confirmed the move, which reflects an industry trend. Boeing says that about half of the 777s delivered last year had been ordered with a 343 seat configuration, which increases capacity to 336 seats in coach. That's an increase of 20 seats. Several other airlines already have the seating configuration, and United said that the work will begin this May, and it expects all 19 of its 777-200 aircraft will be retrofitted with the additional seats by May 2017. Each week, we share with you an online video that one of our viewers found especially entertaining. We call it our Aero Video of the Week.
Final liftoff of Atlanta.
I just found a really cool place to land here. It's pretty high. It's 6,000 feet density altitude. I'm going to land right here, coming up this side. Got it.
Watching a video of short field takeoff and landings in a contest is spectacular, but in this video we see the real thing on terrain that is just wrong for an airplane, but this airplane can do it. Search Wild West Aircraft SuperSTOL on YouTube. After these messages, the Vectren Dayton Air Show is going strong.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. While we've seen some hard times in the air show industry, that's not the case for the Vectren Dayton Air Show scheduled in June. They recently announced the addition of the Navy Leapfrogs and the Navy Band Rhode Island Sound to their lineup. The president of the Association of Flight Attendants International said they support the returning of United Airlines CEO Oscar Munoz. They said that Munoz is engaged and committed to the success of the airline. Lockheed Martin's aeronautics business area has announced a voluntary layoff program that is targeted to reduce employment by approximately 1,000 positions at locations in the United States. They say the action is necessary to be competitive in the future marketplace. The NBAA has endorsed a bipartisan Senate bill to authorize funding and programs for the FAA, and which takes a consensus-driven approach to modernizing the nation's air traffic system. They say this is the right bill at the right time. Belight Aircraft announces a breakthrough in capacitive fuel probe technology for the ultralight and home-built airplane market. The system is accurate, simple, easy to install, and could be adapted to other industrial uses. Well, that's the trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. In testimony before the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship, Captain Tom Connell, president of the Airline Pilots Association, underscored the union's support for those who are using unmanned aircraft systems to help advance small business and the national economy, but emphasized that the union's greatest concern will always be safety. Connell says that while the FAA is making progress, the administration needs to address all UAS uses with a full regulatory safety framework. He outlined for committee members ALPA's near-term action plan for the safe integration of UAS into the national airspace system. His outline include the areas of education, registration, technology, and penalties and enforcement. ALPA maintains that anyone flying a UAS, no matter the size, must understand the aircraft, the airspace, and the other aircraft that share it. And while ALPA says they are pleased with the registration program, they believe that point-of-sale registration is essential. They also point to the need for technological advancement to provide collision avoidance. ALPA says their plan can promote UAS use while improving safety. In a statement, Airlines For America, referred to as A4A, says the FAA reauthorization bill goes too far in its attempt to re-regulate airlines. They say the Senate bill seeks to re-regulate airline industry pricing and service provisions, which were successfully deregulated in 1978. A4A President and CEO Nicholas Callio said in part, quote, "It's disconcerting at a time when other countries rightly view their airlines as national assets and drivers of the economy and jobs that we are taking steps backward toward re-regulation, which would make it more difficult for consumers to afford to fly." However, they stated approval of the Senate bill, rejecting calls from the airport community to more than double the passenger facility charge, also known as the airport tax. A4A also reiterated their support for a separate, not-for-profit ATC entity, which they say would create stability in long-term planning and hiring and would aid in continuous technology upgrades. This concept has been deleted from both the House and Senate bills. ANN CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell is issuing the following warning. April 1st is just around the corner and we take no prisoners. Just in case you're new to ANN, be prepared for stories on April 1st that may be just a bit over the top and seems like we're pulling your chain, because they will be over the top and we will be pulling your chain. Based on all the nonsense our Aeroverse has endured in the past couple years, which we are duty-bound to lampoon, this may be one of our best years yet, and as always, no one is safe. We're going to have some fun with everyone. There are no friends, no foes in this endeavor, only targets. And our moderately wacko staff is ready to take aim and fire. We make things up, we get silly, we exaggerate, and lampoon. In other words, things are going to get weird. Time is fast ticking down to the date, so if you have a suggestion or a worthwhile April 1st story or topic, your ideas are always welcome. Just drop us a line at editor@aero-news.net. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us in a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource.